Here's your host, Roy Masters.
Hello. Welcome once again to the program. I'm getting tired of 53 years of trying to warn America what was going to happen to America. And it's happening. And so I don't seem to do much good. But I can, during these next few months, prepare you for the horrors of things to come, if such will be. Please God, it doesn't. But still, if everything goes well, you'll still need to learn how to deal with your anxieties and your guilts and your fears, all representing the weaknesses that the dark side of the traitors amongst us, politicians and now mainstream media, know how to exploit. And I know how to understand this sort of sly psychological warfare. It's been my stock in trade. And so therefore I'm going to concentrate on helping all of you to get right to the root of your problems. I was listening to National Public Radio just a little bit on my new radio in my car. My son gave me one, and it's got a satellite in it, blah, blah, blah. So it puts it in an old car, but it really is nice. But I like to listen to them sometimes because most of the stuff on radio is junk. And at least they have interesting people on there. And the Liberals are not, I don't see any whole lot of bias there either. There may be some politics there too, but I can overlook that because of the good stuff they put on them. And I was listening to a guest who is an expert doctor on breast cancer and all kinds of things, and I kept listening and all the different drugs and all the different possibilities of curing people, and I just it all the more emphasized the point. The more complicated we get, the more sinful we become. It's the word sinful, and I'll explain myself later on. But there's a root. There's a root cause to human beings being as sick as they are. I said to my wife today, I shouted it out. I said, monkeys don't have to clean their teeth. Monkeys don't have to clean. I don't think animals do they? And they don't get tooth decay. I mean, maybe they do if you keep one as a pet and you give them the food we get. But there's something about human beings that we're supposed to be superior to the animals, but in many ways we have about 200,000 different diseases, and animals in the wild don't have that much. They're healthy. And they can't eat the wrong foods because the wrong foods aren't there. They can only eat what they're born into eating. But human beings are born into the supermarkets. So the conditioning takes over from there. And a lot of other things, but that go into making us very sick and very vulnerable, mentally, emotionally, physically sick. Very vulnerable to manipulation in the degraded state. And many are those who like to keep you in a great degraded state because you can't rule noble people. You can't rule them. And healthy people don't need doctors. So I'm absolutely positive, absolutely doubly positive, that I have found the root cause of almost every problem on earth. Jesus knew it. If you really understood what he had to say, really understood it, not just learn it from a book and you recite it back as if, like a play actor on a stage. No, what I'm saying is if you really understood the simple principles, they're so titsy-witsy simple that it's hard. You say to yourself, it can't be that simple. So if I say to you, well, the problem, the root of the problem is lack of faith. But you were born with faith. You weren't born with a lack of it. You were born with the ability to perceive, see and perceive, and hear and understand. But something happens just after birth, or just as you start to grow and become conscious. And you lose something. And then you've lost it to the outside world, but you don't know how you've lost it. Some injustice, perhaps. Not perhaps, absolutely. Some injustice, some cruelty. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. You know, people have power. Cruel people have power. And that's your weakness is reacting to them.